What do we know about this? Why did Amazon make this a public contest, and how many new hires will they actually be making?
They're going to be making 50,000 hires eventually. I mean, it's going to take a while. The number they gave was 15 to 17 years. So this is a almost 2-decade project that they unveiled today. It's pretty unusual when you look at how Amazon usually goes about building new offices and buying real estate. Usually they try to be very quiet about it. They go so far as to setting up, special tax structures to kind of shield the fact that they're looking at new places. And a lot of that is, when they go out to do warehouses and that kind of thing. But this is going to be a massive new campus. They went so far as to calling it another headquarters and saying that it will be at the same level as their current Seattle presence.
Now, in part, they're doing this because Seattle simply just can't accommodate their growth. But I find it interesting, given the frugality that is the history of Amazon. I mean, Brad Stone wrote in his book, The Everything Store, that employees even had to give back the backpacks when they left the building if they left the company. Shira, what do you make of how Amazon is approaching this process?
Well, I'll say one thing. I actually talked to a technology investor in Seattle today, Matt Wayne at Madrona, who said he was disappointed that Amazon didn't decide to simply expand its offices inside of their hometown, and felt that it was sort of the fault of the city of Seattle for not being sort of business friendly enough to Seattle, to Amazon, that the company had to go elsewhere. So I thought that was an interesting point, that maybe this is not a great thing for the city of Seattle, even as that city has struggled with the kind of housing crunch and real estate crunch that Amazon's expansion has caused there.
Garrett, you already have some cities throwing their names into the hat. Chicago, for example. Talk about where the likeliest places are if Amazon is going to split its headquarters in two, essentially. What does that mean for the city that gets that honor?
Yeah, we've probably got another couple cities, just since the beginning of this segment, that have thrown their names into the hat. I mean, you have people tripping over themselves to sort of get Amazon's attention, ranging from smaller cities, Louisville, Tucson, to, straight all the way to the top. Some of the biggest cities in North America, including Toronto, Chicago, are very interested. It's definitely going to be a bit of a Hunger Games process here. It's hard to underestimate how big of an impact this could have on the city that it ends up being in. I mean, just calling around, talking to people today, no one has seen anything this big. One massive company deciding all at once to put this many people, even though it is over many years, in one place. So, one number that I thought was particularly interesting was, we had someone estimating that Amazon could receive as high as $1 billion in, subsidies, in, that kind of thing, to actually build in a certain city. So, we're going to see proposals coming out over the next few weeks and months, and it's going to be interesting to see what they are.